What's up, everyone? Kevin Allen here from the DFS Army Bold Calls Fantasy Football Podcast. And today, I'm bringing you a quick tip on what type of running back you should avoid in your fantasy draft. That's right. This is a rule of thumb that I've been using for years to dominate my leagues, and I keep it very, very simple. Avoid drafting running backs from teams that are losing teams. The reason being, we've learned in DFS over the last 8-9 years of daily fantasy football that we want to target running backs on teams that are favored to win their games, because whenever a team's running behind, they tend to avoid the run late. They tend to focus on the pass, playing catch up. They also, teams that are ahead and winning games tend to lean on the run late, and they also tend to jam in more scores and therefore more potential touchdowns for the running back position. Now, that's a very simple rule that can be broken when a running back is primarily a 3-down back, never comes off the field, because there's actually lots of potential action for running backs in comeback mode. But those are a unique few running backs. Christian McCaffrey, of course, comes to mind. Saquon Barkley a little bit is in that role as well. And Austin Eckler, of course, is used more as a pass catcher. But overall, we want to avoid running backs from losing teams. So real quick up on the screen here, because I'm sure a lot of running backs that you like are on teams that probably aren't going to be very good. And the first one that stands out to me, of course, the Jacksonville Jaguars, projected for 4.5 wins this season. That is not a good sign for Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette does catch passes, and he has a 3-down role. It's acceptable, but it's not a good sign, and it's a reason why we want to avoid him a little bit. Redskins, projected for 5 wins. I don't care who's playing the running back position over there. It is sketchy. So if it's Geis, if it's Peterson, or if it's someone else, that is a sketchy situation. But the biggest one that stands out to me in terms of draft position for the running back compared to expected win totals is the Cincinnati Bengals. And if you look at the current ADP, Joe Mixon is being drafted pick number 7 overall, but his team is going to be one of the losingest teams in the league according to the Vegas projection, 5.5 wins projection. So if you're okay with accepting that Joe Mixon is a guy you're taking in your top 6 or 7 running back picks overall, but is coming from a team that is projected to lose most of their games, that's a big no-no for me. I'm going to avoid him. And the biggest no-no of them all, now, with Mixon, he does have a little bit of a passing game role, so it's not as egregious. The biggest no-no of them all, and the most overdrafted player, I believe, this season, and the highest regrets that you're going to see, is Josh Jacobs being drafted as RB12 overall. Josh Jacobs does not have a passing game role on the Raiders. The Raiders are projected to finish the season below 500, which means that you will have a yardage and touchdowns back on a team that is expected to be playing from behind more often than not this season. That is a big no-no. Some other standouts, Detroit Lions, be it Swift, or seems like Swift is going to be the starter for them. That is a sketchy situation. 6.5 wins projected. I'm going to say the Falcons at 7.5 wins with Todd Gurley. Questionable situation. And of course, the Chargers have Eckler, so we're not as worried about them because Eckler is going to get an intense passing game role. But all of these below 500 teams are a risk. Of course, we already are avoiding the Dolphins running backs here, but it's important to note that they're on this list as well, and it's a good reason we avoid them. So the biggest ones to be concerned about here are Joe Mixon and Josh Jacobs, both running backs from projected losing teams that are being drafted in the top 12 running backs off the board this year. I'm avoiding those two guys. Give me Sanders over Jacobs all day. Give me any running back that is from a winning team that people are sleeping on ahead of these running backs that will not get carries. That's my quick tip for the day.